Story 1. Back in 2021. When the interest rates were a mere 2%, my husband and I embarked on an exciting journey of purchasing a new house in the quiet suburbs of New Jersey. Our eyes gleamed with anticipation as we discovered a single-family home boasting 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and an unfinished basement. It may have seemed like a typical house, but to us, it held the promise of a fresh start, a place to build beautiful memories together. Once the paperwork was finalized, we wasted no time in settling into our new abode. However, as with any move, the boxes seemed endless, and the process of unpacking felt never-ending. One day, with my husband at work, I found myself alone in the house, determined to make some progress in turning this structure into our cozy sanctuary. As I meticulously unloaded boxes and carefully arranged our belongings in their designated spots, I came across a stack of boxes containing our Tupperware. Recognizing a need for storage, I decided to take them downstairs to the basement. With each step leading me closer to the unfinished and dimly lit space, an eerie feeling began to creep over me. The basement's atmosphere felt colder and darker than I remembered, even with the single flickering light I relied on to guide my way. In this oppressive darkness, I pulled out my cell phone, its feeble glow serving as my beacon of vision. With the boxes neatly placed in the corner, I prepared to ascend the stairs, my thoughts focused on the remaining tasks awaiting my attention. Just as I was about to take that first step, a peculiar noise sliced through the silence, freezing me in my tracks. It seemed distant yet audible enough to send shivers down my spine. Uncertainty tinged with fear seeped into my consciousness. Was it merely an animal that had wandered in, or had something toppled over in the basement? Determined to dispel any irrational thoughts, I swiftly scanned the area, expecting to find a logical explanation. To my relief, the basement appeared devoid of any visible presence. I chuckled, chastising myself for allowing my imagination to run wild. Convinced that my unease was baseless, I reassured myself that it was probably just the wind outside, playing tricks on my ears, disguising its whispers as sinister laughter. Nonetheless, I decided to grant myself peace of mind by conducting one final search of the basement. Guided by my cell phone's flickering light, I ventured towards the crawl space, an inconspicuous area I had unintentionally overlooked during my initial examination. Its entrance beckoned me with curiosity, urging me to dispel any lingering doubts. As my light penetrated the abyss, illuminating its contents, my heart sank in dread. In the farthest corner, crouched on his heels, was a man. My cell phone's radiance reflected off his eyes, revealing a disturbing glint. His face, smeared with remnants of a chocolate bar, added an eerie touch to his presence. Donned in a red sleeveless shirt, baggy shorts, and sandals, he exuded an unsettling aura that paralyzed me with fear. I recoiled, instinctively taking a step back, as the man in the crawl space spoke words that chilled my bones. "I like you guys better than the last family." His voice was a haunting mixture of menace and familiarity. Panic gripped me as I realized the gravity of the situation. My husband and I lived alone, devoid of children or pets. There was no logical explanation for this intruder's presence. Swiftly turning on my heel, I sprinted up the stairs, propelled by an overwhelming surge of adrenaline. My trembling hands hastily locked the basement door, desperately attempting to sever the connection between the intruder and our sanctuary. Yet, the terror did not cease with the slam of the basement door. The man from the crawl space had followed me, his malevolent presence palpable as he relentlessly pounded on the door, his desperate attempts to breach our newfound sanctuary reverberating through the house. Fear consumed me as I realized the severity of the situation. With trembling hands, I reached for my car keys, knowing that escape was my only recourse. The engine roared to life as I sped away from the house, seeking refuge in a nearby Walmart parking lot. There, in the safety of my car, I frantically dialed the emergency number, my voice quivering as I relayed the horrifying events to the operator. Within minutes, the flashing lights of a police car illuminated the parking lot, accompanied by the reassuring presence of my husband. Trembling with relief, I stepped out of the car, seeking solace in my husband's comforting embrace. We watched as law enforcement officers hurriedly made their way towards our now tainted haven. Together, we returned to our house, bracing ourselves for the grim reality that awaited us. As we entered, the lingering air of unease weighed heavily upon our shoulders. The police had already conducted an exhaustive search, combing every inch of the property, only to find no trace of the intruder who had infiltrated our lives. It was determined that the man had gained access through a tiny basement window, an entry point we had unwittingly overlooked during our initial assessment of the house. An unsettling revelation dawned upon us. We pondered how long this stranger had lurked within the shadows of our seemingly ordinary basement. The chilling remark about the last family haunted our thoughts, leaving us questioning the true nature of the house's history. In the days that followed, anxiety permeated our every waking moment. Our once promising home had transformed into a prison of fear and uncertainty. We grappled with the residual trauma, constantly second-guessing our decision to settle in this seemingly peaceful neighborhood. The walls that once provided a sense of security now seemed to whisper secrets we couldn't comprehend. Determined to reclaim our lives, we resolved to fortify our home against further intrusion. Contractors were summoned to seal the tiny basement window, replacing it with impenetrable cement. We spared no expense in bolstering the security of our newfound haven, installing state-of-the-art alarm systems and reinforcing doors and windows. Yet, despite these measures, an insidious sense of vulnerability persisted, a lingering reminder of the breach we had endured. Sleep became a fleeting luxury as nightmares haunted our nights, intertwining reality with the horrors we had witnessed. Each creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, became a sinister symphony that echoed through the recesses of our minds. The trauma had etched its indelible mark upon our souls, forever altering our perception of safety and serenity. We sought solace in therapy, desperate to find a semblance of normalcy amid the wreckage left in the wake of that fateful encounter. It was within those hallowed therapy sessions that we discovered we were not alone. Countless others had experienced similar intrusions, their lives forever marred by the shadowy figures that lurked within the depths of their homes. Together, we formed a support group, a network of survivors who understood the depths of each other's anguish. We shared stories, tears, and the unyielding determination to reclaim our lives from the clutches of terror. Through mutual understanding and unwavering support, we found strength in our collective resilience, embarking on a journey towards healing and empowerment. As the years rolled by, the scars gradually faded, though never forgotten. Our house, once a symbol of promise tainted by malevolence, became a sanctuary reclaimed through perseverance and solidarity. We refused to allow fear to define our lives, determined to rewrite the narrative of our home. Together, we transformed it into a haven of warmth and light, exorcising the remnants of darkness that had plagued us. Gone were the restless nights and trepidation that once hung heavy in the air. Laughter and joy once again echoed through the halls, replacing the ghostly whispers of the past. We adorned the walls with vibrant artwork and filled every corner with life-affirming trinkets, infusing the space with a renewed sense of vitality. In our journey towards healing, we discovered a newfound purpose: to raise awareness about home invasion and advocate for the safety and security of every individual. Through local community initiatives, we organize workshops and seminars, educating others on the importance of home security and empowering them with the knowledge to protect their sanctuaries. Our story reached far and wide, capturing the attention of the media and inspiring others who had endured similar ordeals. We became beacons of hope, proof that resilience and unity could triumph over the darkest of circumstances. Our voices reverberated across platforms, driving legislative changes and fostering a collective commitment to ensure the sanctity of every home. Within our transformed house, we celebrated milestones and cherished moments of togetherness. The scars we carried became badges of courage, reminders of the strength we had discovered within ourselves. Though the memory of that intruder lingered, it no longer held power over us. Instead, we embraced the lessons learned and channeled them into a life fueled by gratitude and empathy. The man from the crawl space remained an enigma, a ghostly reminder of a past we would never fully comprehend. The authorities continued their search, but he remained elusive, leaving unanswered questions that occasionally danced at the edges of our consciousness. Yet, we found solace in the knowledge that we had triumphed over his intrusion, transforming our house into a fortress of resilience and love. Our journey did not end with closure or resolution. Instead, it extended beyond the confines of our own lives, into the lives of those we touched through our advocacy work. The horror story that had unfolded within our home became a catalyst for change, fostering a community united by strength, compassion, and the unwavering belief that no one should ever feel unsafe within their own walls. And so, our once short horror story grew, stretching beyond its initial boundaries. It became a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the power of unity. We emerged from the darkness, our lives forever intertwined with those who had walked a similar path. Together, we rewrote the narrative, transforming a tale of terror into one of resilience, hope, and the unwavering determination to reclaim our lives and homes from the clutches of fear. Story 2. When I reminisce about my childhood, a shiver runs down my spine as I recall the strange occurrences that unfolded within our old Victorian house in Vermont. It was the kind of house that seemed straight out of a storybook, with its towering presence and sprawling backyard that served as a playground for my cousins and me. One sunny weekend, the house buzzed with laughter and excitement as my cousins and a few of my friends gathered for a day of fun in the backyard. We chased each other, climbed trees, and reveled in the freedom that childhood bestowed upon us. The day unfolded joyously, oblivious to the dark undercurrents lurking beneath the surface. As the sun began its descent, the call of my parents summoned us indoors for lunch. Our youthful energy gave way to ravenous appetites, and we eagerly filled the dining table, engaging in boisterous conversation while devouring our meals with reckless abandon. The house was alive with the sounds of our animated chatter, as if it reveled in the joy we exuded. However, amid the cacophony of voices, a disturbing realization dawned upon my parents. They couldn't locate my cousin, Matt. The cheerful ambience suddenly transformed into a cloud of worry, and we frantically searched every nook and cranny of the house, hoping to find him engaged in a harmless prank. As minutes turned into an eternity, and Matt remained elusive, panic seized my parents. Desperation led them to venture beyond the house, their voices echoing through the dense woods that encircled our home. But their calls fell upon deaf ears, swallowed by the vast expanse of nature that lay before them. Fearing the worst, my parents implored us, the restless horde of cousins, to scour the house in search of our missing companion. With trepidation, we combed through each room, peeking into closets and under beds, hoping for a glimpse of Matt. However, our efforts proved fruitless, and a growing sense of dread settled over us like a suffocating shroud. Just as my parents contemplated contacting the authorities, my father suggested one last desperate measure to check the dreaded basement. Although our Victorian house boasted elegance and charm, the basement remained a neglected abyss of cracked concrete and chilling darkness. Shadows danced maliciously, taunting our imaginations with lurking horrors. Compelled by a mixture of fear and curiosity, I followed my father down the creaking stairs into the abyss below. The stark contrast between the dimly lit basement and the vibrant world we had left behind intensified my unease. My father flicked on the lights, piercing through the gloom, and called out Matt's name. At first glance, the basement appeared vacant, its eerie silence enveloping us. But then, at the farthest corner, where my parents stored canned foods on a rickety shelf, we spotted Matt. He stood motionless, facing the cold, unyielding wall, seemingly oblivious to our presence. Confusion mingled with apprehension as we approached him, listening to the strange gibberish escaping his lips. The words he spoke were incomprehensible, an otherworldly language that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if Matt had been ensnared in a trance, transported to a realm beyond our understanding. My father, acting on instinct, grasped him firmly, his touch jolting Matt from his stupor. His vacant eyes focused on us, and in a detached, calm voice, he uttered words that chilled us to the core. "My friend lives down here," he said with an unsettling nonchalance. "He's going to visit you." Those cryptic words hung in the air, pregnant with unspoken malevolence. We were relieved to have found Matt, but the lingering sense of unease remained. What did he mean by his friend visiting us? The incident left us with a disquieting sensation that things were not as they seemed within the confines of our home. In the aftermath of Matt's episode, the atmosphere in our house began to change. Restful nights turned restless, as mysterious footsteps echoed through the hallways during the dark hours. The sounds emanated from the depths of the basement, a persistent reminder that something lurked in the shadows, unseen yet undeniably present. Years passed, and the haunting whispers of the past seemed to fade into the background of our lives. Life went on, and our house became a haven once more. However, the unsettling memories lingered, buried deep within our subconscious, ready to resurface with the faintest provocation. Then, as fate would have it, our lives were turned upside down once again. While we were away on vacation, an alarming call shattered the tranquility of our temporary retreat. Our beloved Victorian house, the repository of both cherished memories and haunting mysteries, was engulfed in flames. Panic gripped our hearts, and we rushed home, desperate to salvage what remained. Arriving at the scene, we beheld a devastating sight. The charred remains of our once proud home stood as a grim testament to the power of destruction. The fire had devoured our sanctuary, leaving only a shell of its former glory. The loss was immeasurable, both in terms of material possessions and the intangible fragments of our past that were forever lost in the ashes. Official investigations pointed to faulty wiring as the cause of the blaze, a seemingly logical explanation that provided a semblance of closure. Yet, deep within, an unsettling belief persisted, an unshakable conviction that there was something far more sinister at play. It was as if the fire itself was merely a manifestation of an underlying evil, an entity that had long held sway over our basement. Though the flames had consumed our physical dwelling, the shadows of the past clung to our souls. A lingering question remained unanswered. Had our basement truly been haunted all along? Was there an evil presence that defied logical explanations and thrived in the hidden recesses of our home? In the aftermath of the fire, we sought solace and a sense of closure. Determined to confront the enigma that had plagued our lives, we delved deep into the history of our house, unearthing long-forgotten tales and urban legends. Whispers of dark rituals, unexplained disappearances, and ancient curses intertwined, fueling our belief that our basement had been a portal to a realm beyond our comprehension. We reached out to paranormal experts, desperate for insights that could shed light on the unexplainable phenomena that had unfolded within our home. Their investigations unraveled a tapestry of eerie occurrences, strange energy fluctuations, unexplained apparitions, and chilling EVP recordings that echoed with the echoes of disembodied voices. As we immersed ourselves in the enigma of our basement, we discovered that our experience was not an isolated incident. Others had encountered similar inexplicable events, linking our home to a long history of inexplicable happenings. Our testimonies became part of a larger narrative, a mosaic of supernatural encounters that spanned generations. In the years that followed, we became advocates for understanding and exploring the boundaries of the paranormal. Our experiences transformed us from passive observers to active participants in a world that defied conventional explanations. We connected with others who had faced similar trials, forming a tight-knit community united by shared encounters with the inexplicable. Through research, investigations, and a relentless pursuit of the truth, we sought closure not only for ourselves but also for those who had endured the unknown. We delved into the occult, sought guidance from spiritual practitioners, and embarked on expeditions to unravel the mysteries that lay dormant within our shattered home. Yet, even as we strove for understanding, we knew that some secrets were never meant to be fully revealed. The enigma of our haunted basement remained elusive, its depths concealing untold horrors and ancient forces beyond human comprehension. It served as a reminder that the darkness that dwells within the human psyche is a mere reflection of the darkness that exists in the world around us. Today, as I recount the tale of our haunted home, I am reminded of the fragility of our perceived reality. The veil between the mundane and the supernatural is thinner than we realize, and the horrors that lie in wait can lurk in the most unexpected of places. Our Victorian house may be reduced to ashes, but its legacy lives on, an eternal reminder that sometimes the scariest stories are not found in books but within the very fabric of our existence. Story 3. Back when I was in high school, there was this abandoned farmhouse on the outskirts of our small town that had gained a notorious reputation for being haunted. It was the kind of place that sparked the curiosity of thrill seekers and fueled countless ghost stories among the locals. Our group consisted of 3 daredevils, myself, Andrew, and Carl. We were the ones who thrived on the adrenaline rush of exploring unknown territories and pushing the boundaries of fear. One fateful weekend, after meticulously planning our nocturnal escapade, we rendezvoused at Carl's place. Sneaking out from there was a piece of cake, considering his parents were often absent, engrossed in their hectic work schedules, with a mix of excitement and trepidation. We hopped into Carl's trusty Jeep and set off towards the infamous haunted farmhouse, its decrepit silhouette beckoning under the moonlit sky. As a horror enthusiast, I prided myself on my ability to keep calm in eerie situations, but I couldn't deny the unsettling feeling that gnawed at my stomach as we approached our destination. Equipped with flashlights and bolt cutters to bypass the chain-locked front door, we knew we were treading a fine line between adventure and trespassing. However, the thrill of the unknown spurred us onward, rendering any thoughts of legality irrelevant in our young, adventurous minds. Swiftly, we severed the chains that guarded the entrance, allowing us passage into the realm of the haunted farmhouse. Once inside, the oppressive darkness enveloped us, punctuated only by the feeble beams of our flashlights. Dust particles danced in the air, giving the abandoned rooms an ethereal quality. The stale scent of neglect lingered, as if the very walls exhaled the secrets of the forgotten past. Every creaking floorboard beneath our weight served as a reminder that we were intruders in a realm long forsaken. Navigating the decaying halls, we stuck together, drawing courage from our camaraderie. Room by room, we explored the first and second floors, the initial creepiness slowly dissipating as we grew accustomed to the eerie ambience. Just when we thought we had braved the worst, Andrew stumbled upon a door concealed within the kitchen. It beckoned us, tempting us with the promise of deeper secrets. Curiosity gripped our souls as we swung open the door, revealing a narrow staircase that led down into the abyss of a basement. A flicker of unease tugged at my heart, warning me against venturing further. But the lure of exploration and the adrenaline rush of the unknown suppressed my instincts, compelling me to descend into the depths alongside my friends. As we reached the final step, our flashlights pierced the darkness, illuminating a sight that would forever be etched into our memories. The basement sprawled before us, vast and enigmatic, but it was a peculiar inhabitance that sent a chill down our spines. Dolls, countless dolls, lined the shelves, their once cheerful countenances now marred by time and neglect. Some were broken, others unclothed, and many missing limbs, lending an eerie aura to the subterranean chamber. An unsettling silence settled upon us, broken only by a faint shuffling noise that echoed through the basement, stirring the stale air. Our gazes locked, a silent pact shared among us to remain still, verifying that the sound did not originate from within our group. But then, as if summoned by an unseen conductor, the sound of a piano reached our ears, its haunting melody emanating from the depths of the basement. The keys were played with precision and grace, each note resonating with an otherworldly quality that sent shivers down our spines. The realization that someone, or something, was present in that desolate basement filled us with a mix of fascination and terror. We exchanged wary glances, our hearts pounding in our chests as we contemplated the source of this mysterious piano music. In unspoken agreement, we mustered the courage to move forward, drawn toward the enigmatic melody like moths to a flame. As we cautiously ventured deeper into the basement, the dolls watched us with their lifeless eyes, their presence amplifying the eeriness of the situation. With each step, the music grew louder, guiding us through the labyrinthine corridors of the basement. The darkness seemed to take on a tangible weight, pressing upon us as if eager to reveal its secrets. Whispers of forgotten stories and whispered legends echoed in our ears, heightening the sense of impending doom. Yet, an unrelenting curiosity propelled us onward, unable to resist the allure of the unknown. As we approached the source of the music, the oppressive atmosphere thickened, shadows danced in the periphery of our vision, and a cold chill crept up our spines. Finally, we reached a secluded corner where a weathered grand piano stood, bathed in an ethereal glow. Its keys danced under unseen hands, producing a mournful melody that seemed to echo from another realm. In awe and trepidation, we scanned the surroundings, searching for the pianist who conjured this spectral performance. But the basement remained seemingly empty, devoid of any living presence. The weight of the moment settled upon us, mingling with the fear that clawed at the edges of our minds. It was as if the music itself held us captive, entwining us within its web of mystery and dread. Suddenly, a gust of icy wind swept through the basement, extinguishing our flashlights and plunging us into darkness. Panic surged within us, adrenaline coursing through our veins as we fumbled to relight our lights. The piano continued its macabre serenade, its ethereal notes resonating with a growing intensity. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and a sense of impending doom gripped our hearts. With a surge of determination, we broke free from the paralyzing grip of fear, guided solely by instinct. We sprinted towards the staircase, desperate to escape the clutches of that haunted basement. The disarrayed dolls seemed to watch us as we fled, their gaze following our every move, their presence a sinister reminder of the malevolence lurking within those walls. As we ascended the stairs, the wood groaned beneath our hurried footsteps, as if protesting our departure. The oppressive atmosphere gradually lessened as we neared the first floor, but the memory of the piano's lament lingered in our minds like a haunting refrain. Bursting through the front door, our lungs gasping for air, we found solace in the moonlit night, thankful for our escape from that twisted realm. The car engine roared to life, drowning out the fading echoes of the piano, yet its haunting melody continued to resonate in our ears. We drove away, our hearts pounding, and our minds grappling with the inexplicable events we had witnessed. The journey home was shrouded in an uneasy silence, each of us lost in our thoughts, trying to make sense of the unfathomable. In the days that followed, we shared our harrowing experience with others, hoping to find validation and support. However, our words fell upon skeptical ears, dismissed as the ramblings of overactive imaginations or the fabrication of attention-seeking teenagers. It was disheartening to realize that our encounter with the haunted farmhouse would forever remain our secret, locked away within the confines of our memories. But the memory of that night continued to haunt us, manifesting in restless nights and lingering unease. Sleep became elusive as strange noises plagued our dreams, echoing the phantom footsteps and haunting piano melodies that had plagued that fateful night. Each creaking floorboard, every gust of wind, and even the faintest sound of music sent shivers down our spines, reminding us of the inexplicable horrors we had witnessed. Months turned into years, yet the farmhouse and its mysteries never strayed far from our thoughts. We delved into research, scouring local archives, and speaking with townsfolk who might hold fragments of the farmhouse's dark history. Our quest for answers became an obsession, an attempt to reconcile the unexplainable and find closure for the lingering fears that had taken root within our souls. Our investigation led us to uncover fragments of the farmhouse's past, a tragic tale of a family torn apart by madness and despair. Rumors spoke of a pianist who had met a tragic end, his spirit forever trapped within the decaying walls. The dolls, we discovered, had once belonged to a young girl whose life had been cut short, her spirit lingering in the basement, guarding the secrets that lay hidden. With newfound determination, we decided to confront the farmhouse once more, armed not only with flashlights and bolt cutters, but also with a deeper understanding of the supernatural forces that resided within. This time, we would document our findings, capturing undeniable evidence to silence the skeptics and bring validation to our own experiences. Under the cover of night, we returned to the forsaken farmhouse, its eerie presence now familiar, yet no less unsettling. As we stepped through the broken threshold, the air thickened with anticipation, charged with the energy of our purpose. The dolls greeted us with their vacant stares, their eyes seemingly filled with a newfound recognition. We cautiously descended into the basement, our hearts pounding in unison. To our astonishment, the basement had transformed. The dolls, once scattered and broken, now stood in an organized formation, as if arranged by unseen hands. The atmosphere hummed with an ethereal energy, and the faint whispers of a ghostly presence tickled our ears. With a mixture of apprehension and awe, we prepared our cameras and recording devices, ready to capture the truth that lay hidden within this realm of shadows. As we embarked on our exploration, strange phenomena unfolded before our eyes. Electronic devices malfunctioned, capturing fleeting glimpses of spectral apparitions and inexplicable orbs of light. Eerie voices resonated through the air, recounting snippets of the farmhouse's tragic history. The piano, once silent, now played melodies that spoke of sorrow and longing, its keys dancing under an unseen touch. Hours turned into an eternal night as we delved deeper into the mysteries that had eluded us for so long. With each revelation, the veil between the physical and spiritual realms grew thinner, revealing a tapestry of supernatural forces intertwined with human tragedy. Our courage wavered, tested by the increasing intensity of the paranormal encounters, yet fueled by our determination to shed light on the enigmatic farmhouse. Finally, our expedition reached its climax as we uncovered a hidden chamber, concealed behind a crumbling wall. Within its confines lay a journal, its pages yellowed with age, chronicling the despair and anguish that had plagued the farmhouse's inhabitants. The final entry spoke of a ritual, an attempt to transcend the boundaries of life and death, and the dire consequences that ensued. As we absorbed the weight of those revelations, the farmhouse seemed to awaken, its presence pulsating with a malevolent energy. Shadows danced with a newfound frenzy, whispering secrets and threats that sent chills down our spines. The dolls, once mere inanimate objects, took on a life of their own, their eyes gleaming with an eerie light as if imbued with the souls they once represented. Fear threatened to consume us, but we stood firm, refusing to be swayed by the darkness that sought to claim us. Armed with the knowledge we had acquired, we knew that unraveling the farmhouse's secrets was our only chance of breaking the cycle of despair and freeing the trapped souls within. Guided by the journal's cryptic instructions, we embarked on a daring endeavor to confront the malevolent force that held the farmhouse captive. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows upon the worn floorboards as we assembled the necessary items for the ritual. Each step forward felt like a battle against the very fabric of the supernatural. In the depths of the basement, we created a sacred circle, an anchor for our intentions and protection against the vengeful spirits that surrounded us. We chanted ancient incantations, invoking the powers that existed beyond our mortal realm. The air grew heavy with anticipation as we prepared to confront the entity that had wreaked havoc on the lives of the farmhouse's inhabitants. As the incantations reached their crescendo, a surge of energy rippled through the room. The dolls trembled upon their shelves, their haunting gazes fixed upon us. A whirlwind of ethereal energy enveloped the basement, manifesting as a swirling vortex of light and shadow. We braced ourselves, ready to face whatever emerged from the depths of the farmhouse's darkest secrets. With a deafening crack, the vortex dispersed, revealing a spectral figure, the tormented soul of the pianist. His translucent form emanated an aura of anguish and longing, his eyes reflecting the depths of his sorrow. The music of the piano ceased, replaced by a mournful silence that echoed through the basement. In a voice laden with the weight of centuries, the spirit recounted his tragic tale, a tale of love betrayed, of lost dreams and shattered hopes. He had been trapped within the farmhouse, his anguish binding him to its dark corridors. As the story unfolded, tears welled in our eyes, empathy and understanding washing away the fear that had gripped us moments before. Driven by compassion and a desire to bring peace to the tormented souls, we offered solace to the pianist. Through words of forgiveness and acceptance, we released him from the shackles of his past, allowing his spirit to ascend to a realm beyond our own. The air filled with a serene stillness as his essence dissipated, leaving behind a lingering sense of closure and redemption. The farmhouse, once filled with darkness and despair, now exuded an air of tranquility. The dolls, no longer twisted manifestations of fear, stood silent, their presence a reminder of the lives they had once represented. We bid farewell to the haunted farmhouse, knowing that we had played a part in restoring balance and peace to the souls that had been trapped within its walls. Returning to our lives, we carried with us the profound lessons learned from our encounter with the supernatural. The experience had forever changed us, deepening our appreciation for the fragile nature of existence and the power of compassion to transcend even the most haunting of circumstances. Though the farmhouse's secrets had been unveiled, we chose not to reveal them to the world. Some mysteries are better left untouched, existing as whispers in the night, captivating the imaginations of those who dare to wonder. And as for us, we kept our pact, vowing never to return to that place of shadows and forgotten dreams. For in the end, our mission was not about seeking fame or proving the existence of the paranormal. It was about finding answers, fostering healing, and embracing the power of friendship and resilience in the face of unimaginable horrors. And that, in itself, was a triumph that would forever live on in our hearts.